CU really needs a win, and wouldn't it be great to have it come over the Rams?
Sure would, but they have a slew of injuries they have to overcome. I'll touch on that coming up. Plus, the Rockies may be out of playoff contention, but that doesn't mean it's too early to play for next season. You do what you got to do to stay with the team no matter the cost. More after the break. The Colorado Rockies were back at it against the Milwaukee Brewers, looking to split a 2-game roadie with the Brew Crew. Cargo and the Rockies looking to avenge a 2-1 loss in extra innings the night before against the Brew Crew. Picking it up from the top of the third, Cargo connects. He hits it high, far, deep, and 447 feet later, it's gone. 3-1 Rocks. September call-up, Will and Rosario getting involved as well. Rosario saw what Cargo did, and he was probably thinking, that looked good, I'll have the same thing. Rosario goes yard as well. 385 feet later, Rocks up 5-1. Jason Giambi also getting involved with the cause as he has a single up the right field, and Mark Ellis makes it to third, but able to come home on an error by Corey Hart. The Rockies, that's all they needed as they win 6-2. Speaking of trying to make the team, Rocky catcher Elizer Alfonzo will have 100 games to think about whether or not if he'll be with the ball club next season. Yesterday, Alfonzo tested positive for the second time now for performance-enhancing drugs, landing him a 100-game suspension. The Rockies have issued a statement following the suspension. The Colorado Rockies long been committed to eliminating the use of performance-enhancing substances from the game of baseball. We have fully supported the adoption and implementation of Major League Baseball and the Major League Players Association Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program. There is no place in baseball for such substance, and we have and will continue to do what we can to eliminate them from our game. After being issued the suspension, Alfonso has said he plans to fight the suspension. Broncos were banged up following their 23-20 loss to the Oakland Raiders. When hitting the field Wednesday, they found out just how banged up they really were. The Broncos began the season already without DJ Williams, Ty Warren, Marcus Thomas, and Demaryius Thomas. The list became significantly longer as the team found out that Elvis Dumervil, Champ Bailey, Brandon Lloyd, and Noshawn Moreno were unable to attend practice. Coach John Fox has said that he is approaching the injuries as day-to-day as they look to get their first win of the season Sunday at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. The injury bug is hitting the CU Buffs football program as well, and for a third game in a row, the team will have a new-look offensive line. Starting right tackle Jack Harris underwent a surgery Wednesday to repair a fracture in his lower leg and could be lost for the season. He suffered the injury in Saturday's loss to the Cal Golden Bears. The Buffs already dealing with a depleted line as David Bakhtiari and Ryan DeWitts are other Buffs at the tackle position that are currently dealing with the injuries as well. Coach Embry may have to pull red shirts from freshmen in order to make up for the injuries and add depth to the position for this weekend's Rocky Mountain Showdown with the CSU Rams. An Idaho family is getting recognition for returning a stolen bike. Little did they know it belonged to a former NFL star. In this week's Josh Rising's Rising Star, I'm staying local and talking about CU star wideout Paul Richardson. If you don't know already, Richardson had a monster day against Cal with 11 catches for a school record 284 yards and 2 TDs. On the season, Richardson has 14 catches for 333 yards and 4 TDs against some of the proven defenses. This week, he's going up against a unproven secondary in the CSU Rams. I expect Richardson to have a huge day, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the worst kept secret in college football after this weekend. Well, that's all I have for sports.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
No problem.
Alrighty, thanks, Nick.
We have Josh here with sports, and I hear this is the last home game of the season for the Rockies.
It is their last home game for the Rockies, and it's also their last homestand of the season as well. I'll fill you in on how they fared, and our basketball and volleyball teams have a new home for their practices. We'll see what makes this facility so unique after the break. The Colorado Rockies are finishing up their last home game of this 7-game home stretch and last home game against the San Diego Padres. Picking up the action during the top of the first inning, Anthony Rizzo lines a single up the middle and Chris D'Onofrio scores. Pods up 3-0. And Andy Perino lines a single to deep left field. Luis Martinez comes home. Rizzo gets to third, and the Pods did their damage in the first inning. Rizzo looks around and says, I think we're good. Aaron Cook was able to settle down. He says, sit down, peace out, and sayonara for 3 of his 4 strikeouts on the day. Cookie's game was fresh throughout the rest of the game, but the Rockies' offense would be stale as the Rocks would lose 4-0. And the Rocks, for the first time in team history, go winless and lose all 7 games of their home games in this homestand. Conference realignment news continues to make noise as the reports have surfaced regarding the stability of the Big 12. Just when we thought that the Big 12 conference would fold, Oklahoma has said that they would stay should revenue sharing with the Longhorn Network be restructured and Commissioner Dan Beebe be replaced. The latter of the two is in the works at the moment. ESPN is reporting that Beebe is working on an agreement to leave his position, and the person of interest to take his place would be former Big 8 Commissioner Chuck Ninus. Rumors are out there as well that the Big 12 is looking to add TCU, BYU, and Air Force to make this conference 12 members once again. Brian Lockridge is being honored along with 21 other student athletes named to the American Football Coaches Association Good Works team. The 5th-year senior has been recognized for being actively involved for his work on and off campus. His work includes being a 4-year board member of CU's Student Athlete Advisory Committee, helping out at the Boulder Homeless Shelter, and with school programs helping children of migrant workers with reading, math, and other homework assignments. Lockridge has become the 4th Buff football player honoree first since George Hippolyte in 2007. The basketball and volleyball teams here at CU have moved into their new practice facility. Nick Soroy checks out the stability features of the new building. Lastly, in this week's Josh Rising's Rising Star, I'm going to Death Valley to talk about Clemson Tigers sophomore quarterback Tajh Boyd. After playing in spot duty last season, he comes into the season as the unheralded starter to the season, and now he's making noise. This past weekend, Boyd took on the defending champs in the Auburn Tigers. Boyd led an air assault against the Tigers, passing for 386 yards and 4 TDs en route to ending the Auburn Tigers' 17-game win streak. For the year, he's passed for 911 yards, 10 TDs to 1 pick. Too bad he's playing in Clemson, because I would be saying this kid could have Heisman potential. So, guys, that is our look at sports for today, and we'll see what happens after that. A new season is about to begin for CU's men's club hockey team, and following a tough season in 2010, after the release of the previous head coach, a new approach to the team will be ushered in by recently promoted junior varsity head coach Sean Sullivan. Coach Sullivan has head coaching experience as he took the team to the national championships twice, but he has a new challenge with getting the varsity team back on track after a tough season with the squad playing just above a .500 winning record and an early exit from the ACHA regional tournament. Wins, losses, of course they matter to head coach Sean Sullivan, but the one thing he's worried about gaining doesn't show up on the stat sheet at the end of the day, and that's respect.
You know, it's not something that you have to focus on winning and losing all the time, because if you build a good team and a good morale and you gain respect between players, coaches, the organization, the university, people will get behind you, the stands will start to fill up, and you'll start to win games. It'll go hand in hand.
Building a level of respect with the university and their competition is important to Sullivan, but he also knows how important it is to build respect in the community and with the fan base.
More than anything else, to have your fans respect the program, you want to make sure you treat your fans right. You know, we do the salute at end of every game where we'll line up at center ice and give them the stick salute and say thanks for coming. We need to build a better relationship with our fans because there's plenty of open seats during our games.
Having been a former captain and player who won the 2005 national championship, it may be hard for Sullivan to separate himself from player and coach.
We start with a puck. We're going to alternate sides. We're going to puck in both ends.
But the players who have been around Sullivan have been spreading word about the reputation he has as a coach.
You know, he's played here before. He's won a national championship. He knows hockey, and when you're playing for a guy who has the resume he had playing, it's easy to respect him as a coach. He knows the game, and when he tells you to do something, you listen because it's the right thing to do.
With all the talk about the coach, one word that is spreading is that the coach is ready to take on the season and to get down to business. Josh Rising, News Team Boulder.